Greetings, traveller. Come in and take a seat by the fire. Today we will be weaving the start of a new tale together. A tale of beginnings. A tale of simpler times. A tale of then becoming now. The Hunter's Requiem. Part 1. The trees rush past, a blur of browns and greens. You launch off the loamy earth and sail over a fallen trunk in a fluid leap, landing with a slight splash in the saturated moss on the other side. This is a familiar sensation, this frantic pursuit, this flash of adrenaline in the dying light of a late afternoon. Your lungs are beginning to burn slightly, your heartbeat thumping in your chest as you near the conclusion of the chase. Your spear is gripped tight, parallel to the ground to minimize the risk of snagging in the foliage. The polished stone spearhead sits above a strip of crimson fabric that snaps and writhes in the wind. Your feet are bare, better to grip the earth as you push yourself to the fastest pace you're capable of. Your keen eyes are locked ahead, following the darting shadow of your quarry. The prey is fast, but you are faster. To your left, flickering between the dark trunks, your hunting mate is keeping pace, pressing themselves forwards with the same urgency. Their dreadlocked hair is whipping in the air behind them, and their eyes are fixed ahead, focused on the task at hand. You are gaining ground. The squat, stocky shadow ahead of you is becoming more visible, and the moment of decision is fast approaching. You shift your grip on your spear, spinning it slightly in your palm as you gauge the closing distance. 20 feet, 19, 18, you are forced to change direction sharply as your prey weaves between the trees. Your free hand strikes bark as you use it to forcibly propel yourself onto a new course. 15, 14, you just need an open stretch to line up your throw. You wind back, shoulder muscles bunching, and the spear sails through the air, trailing the scrap of crimson cloth tied beneath its head like a comet. Your prey is a mire swine. They are foul-tempered and foul-smelling, even by the standards of the swampland around you. They are also coated in metallic scales, near impossible to pierce with stone tools, and they bristle with a mane of long spines that can easily cause serious injury to an unwary hunter. The stone tip of your spear shears past the animal's scaly flank and strikes a tree trunk just ahead of it, the haft shivering with the impact. The mire swine instinctively veers left, away from the sudden flash of movement, and runs straight into the waiting noose. Your partner has circled round the creature's path, throwing a thick hempen rope with practiced precision to catch the prey around its neck, and then dashing past a nearby tree to provide tension. With a leap and a yell, they throw their weight behind the rope, wrenching the mire swine sideways and causing it to lurch and tumble onto its side with a high-pitched squeal. You snatch your sharpened bone knife from your belt, launch yourself forwards, and slide into place next to the thrashing animal, guarding against the club-like trotters with your free arm as they thrash and batter in a frantic effort to regain purchase. You grab the creature's ear for leverage and punch the knife forwards, sinking it into the exposed neck and leaning in to work the blade deeper. Warm, dark blood wells up, coating your hands and threatening to make your fingers slip. The thrashing continues for a moment, scaly hide raking across your exposed forearms, before the prey's struggles begin to slacken, growing weaker as you strike a vital vessel in its throat. It continues to work its legs, growing more feeble as its lifeblood ebbs away. You steady your heavy breathing, your face nearly touching the animal's own as you hold the knife in place and offer the hunter's requiem through gritted teeth. You can hear your hunting mate doing the same from the other end of the rope, still straining to hold the Maya swine in place.
Kin and prey, we thank you for your sacrifice. Your flesh sustains our flesh, and your hide protects our hide. Rest now, knowing that your life continues in us.
The creature's eyes are black orbs tinted with veins of hazel, just like your own. They have no pupils to dilate, but they are growing glassy as you clamp your free arm around its body, ignoring the smell. After a few moments longer, the prey ceases to move, letting out a final, shivering breath and lying still. That same stillness falls over the swamp that was so full of motion moments earlier, and you finally slacken your grip, flopping onto your back and breathing hard as your partner unloops the rope and begins to wind it in.
Big bastard, isn't it?
You nod, still trying to catch your breath. Big enough to feed the village for a day or two at least. Lying next to it, you can see that snout to tail it runs nearly as long as you from head to toe. But there is considerably more mass compressed into that span. You sit up, turning to work the knife free from its throat.
I thought for a minute there you might lose it.
Your hunting mate is Rakard Trell. They are experienced, but no more so than yourself. Unlike you, they hunt in only a few scraps of fur and leather, so as best to keep their limbs moving freely. That leaves their markings exposed. Thick knots of scar tissue, recording every hunt brought back to the tribe, every service rendered. Only failures are left off the skin. More often than not, in these swamps, a failure means not coming back at all.
You're hurt.
It's true enough. Lines of raw skin, interspersed with surface gashes that ooze nearly black blood, crisscross your forearms, where the Maya swine's scales and legs bludgeoned against you. You have no doubt these small cuts will grow itchy and infected in the fetid swamp air. No matter. Your skin is thick enough, and you heal quickly. Once your breath returns, Rakar Trell's rope is repurposed, lashing together a small sled of branches, better to begin moving your prey homewards. It is nearly a full day's trek back to the clearing your tribe has settled into, and the hunt has left you both battered and exhausted. So you opt to bed down for the night before returning. It is laughably simple to find a small patch of dry, solid ground this close to the edge of the swamp, and Trell has a fire crackling merrily in a few minutes. You slice some thin strips from the Maya swine's belly, careful not to ruin the hide you worked so hard not to damage. Those scales, when treated properly, will adhere to the skin much better than any stitching could manage, and a well-maintained Maya swine hide would serve to stave off the thorns and fangs that fill this savage place you call home. Given its size, this one would be a particularly good specimen.
You did well today.
Trell is staring at you over the fire, orange light dancing in the dark brown orbs of their eyes.
We haven't seen a swine this big for weeks.
Again, they speak the truth. Your people are normally nomadic, a necessity this close to the edge of the swamp, where dangers are more common and prey more scattered. It is not your way to build the wood-girded strongholds like the grey skins of the mountains, or even those larger tribes residing deeper in the steaming, miasma-filled bog. However, since Tral Gargan's most recent gifts manifested, you have not had the luxury of moving on when food or supplies grow thin. Your tribe was forced to lay down roots. It has been nearly 2 months now, and most prey has to be caught further and further afield. It is rare indeed to find anything worthwhile without ranging out for several days. But you simply respond with a grim smile. None of this would be news to your hunting mate. You both know that times are growing more desperate.
Still, at least we didn't meet any humans.
The tone is mocking, and you cannot help but bark a burst of laughter before picking up a nearby twig and throwing it at them. Humans. They still won't shut up about that. When you were a youngling, barely out of the pit, you had been terrified by the Trall's tales of humans. Strange creatures with multicoloured eyes that killed for sport or to settle disagreements, and haunted the wide open plains beyond the swamp. There were always tales of humans delving into this place in search of younglings to snatch away from their tribe. Rackard Trell had once tricked you into leaving the confines of the camp to see humans that he had supposedly spotted out in the marsh, only to leap out from behind a tree, face daubed in chalk they had found days earlier, and cause you to yell in alarm. 2 hunters had rushed out to investigate, and you had both received quite the scolding. No humans. Such esoteric beings were far less a concern than the usual threats of the swamp. Ridge tusks and bog wolves were always a threat, waiting amongst the mud and reeds to tear unwitting hunters apart if they drew too far from their mates. Deeper in, stalking flashgars and pernicious ferit, not to mention the strange whispers on the wind that sometimes mocked the tribes for hiding in their tents at night. There was plenty enough in the swamp to be wary of. A twig snaps, off to your right, deep amongst the trees now growing monstrous and distended in the growing dark. Your chatter drops instinctively, and both of you turn, scanning the darkening surroundings carefully. The fire should be enough to keep most of the night's denizens away, but something is off. No swamp predator snaps twigs. Rackard Trell is already on their feet, hand held up towards you, palm facing out. The hunter's sign for wait. You follow suit, quietly retrieving your spear from where it leans against a tree on the edge of the pool of light being cast by your campfire. You respond to Trell with your own hand signal, forefinger raised, thumb and middle finger forming a ring. Ready. Without a sound, you both vacate the pool of light, slipping into the shadows on either side and stalking out into the deepening dark. You keep distance from one another, barely remaining within sight as you slip towards the origin of the sound. 12 paces in, and you stop dead, fist raised in warning, as another sound reaches your ears. Voices. Someone, or something, is talking up ahead. The voice is soft, almost lilting, and in no language you recognize. You can just make out the faint glow of torchlight approaching through the trees. Whatever it is, they must have seen your campfire by now, and they are making no effort to disguise their approach. You glance back to Trell, who is staring ahead, jaw tight. Your vision is obscured by a line of brush, but Trell has a clearer approach, and they turn their eyes to you and gesture again. A familiar sign. Danger. And then another. Hunter. Not predator. Not ridge-tusk, bogwolf, or flashgar. Hunter. Your breath catches in your throat, and you straighten up, ever so slightly, seeking to catch a glimpse over the brush. Trell is gesturing for you to stop, but you must see it. You have to know. And there they are, trudging serpentine through the swamp, clad in too many layers, swatting ineffectively at biting insects, covered in pieces of metal that glint like beacons against the dark, bungling through the undergrowth like a drunk mire swine. Humans. Thank you for listening to this, the first part of our new tale together. I truly hope you are enjoying our work together, and if so, that you will consider leaving a comment to let me know, and perhaps to make a request for the subject of future tales. I make a point of reading every single comment, and this is not my world alone to build. So tell me what you thought, how you felt, and what you want to see next. It is still very early, and I have a lot planned in terms of fleshing out our world and the tales within it. So I do hope you will join me again next week as we continue to weave our world together. Until we meet again, traveller, farewell and safe travels.